Test. Let's get this thing. Right, let's go, Brody, let's get this thing, man. Let's just start, man. You already know how we go with this, man. We've been having fun with it. We've been going crazy. So
episode 99.
99, bro. Damn.
99
yes. It's
yeah.
And a podcast ain't one. You know what I'm saying? But nah, bro. How was your weekend, bro?
Oh my God. It was good. It was like I needed it. It was just me time. So it was all me, kind of chilled on the phone, reflected. I had talked to you a little bit about it because I was like, man, I was stressing myself out in Albuquerque a little bit. And I thought about it and I'm like, why am I so stressed? And I'm like, you know, my goals has been real big. And like, you know, the marathon I've been training for, and it's supposed to be like April 24th. And I'm like, had all these like pressing things where I'm like, I need to meet this deadline. And I go back this weekend, you know, just kind of chilling, reflecting, go back on my notes, and I look through my original goals. I pulled it up, and I'm actually going to screenshot it. You know, notes you can't change unless you update it, and it'll tell you the date you updated it, you know, on iMessage. But screenshots, you could put this on there, what they are. But I wrote them in November, and I see like podcast goals: create a necessary equipment list, include costs, create a list of people you talk to, create a roadmap for a podcast, you know, fitness goals, run a half marathon, investing goals, buy a Bitcoin, buy 10 V-Friends, family vacation goals, take everybody to Disney World, slot cycle goals. So I had them, and I'm looking at them, and I'm like, damn, like, it's only April of this year and I'm killing it. Like, I'm like, damn, I'm training. I've already basically ran a half marathon in training for a full marathon. So I'm like, maybe I just need to like not stress so much on milestones, and like, what are the point of goals? Like, if they're going to stress me out, why have them? You know? So I like I needed that time to reflect and be like, I could push off the marathon a little bit. I don't need to make that such a big deadline.
Because it was stressing you out a lot.
Yeah, because I got so much going on in April. I had some family things come up that really threw me off. So I feel like that added stress, and me just stressing unnecessarily over goals because I really want to crush it, you know what I mean, have a good year. I inflicted self-pain, and I feel like I like went, so it was a good reflection. I actually feel like a weight is off my shoulder, and I'm like, bro, like you're running half marathons already, and that was your goal, to just do that.
Right.
And it's April.
There's a couple of checks, like you got this done, like it just happened. You know what I'm saying?
And it just happened. The podcast, like the Omen, like us, like 99 for you and 9 for us, and like, it's dope. It's all working out. So just relax, you know?
So you would say that's a big one. Like, if your goals are stressing you too much, then maybe they shouldn't be a goal, because it's not about being stressed and shit. Like,
well, I think it's balance, right?
Balance.
Like we talked about the balance. Like it's I like having the goals, but when I looked and I'm like, okay, but now I'm stressing my routine. I'm actually like overthinking, you know, or I went back home and some added curveball just hit me, right, with family. And now my stress level is already high for these goals, that all the goals are just about bettering yourself. You shouldn't have to like stress on them and overdo it to meet them. I guess that's that same grit though that got me where I am today. You know, but I think it's finding the balance. And is it healthy? Because at the end of the day, we got one life and only so much time. And if you're wasting it over something that you're ambitious at getting,
right,
are you enjoying the process? Like,
at the end of the day, I think our goals come down to making money doing the things we love, right? And there is a quote that says, time and money, the difference is with money, you'll know how much you have left. With time, you don't know how much you have left. So that's a big one. And it takes a lot to sit back and like take a step back and be like, well, I need to get this balance. Because I was watching a video of a guy that breaks down like productivity and hustle culture in a very interesting way. Like back then, and like, you know, we always have this in our head, like hustle, overwork, overachieve. And that's like, you kind of you set yourself up for failure because you want to gain 10x, and then you don't gain that, and then like you end up burning out. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
And that's what happens to a lot of us. You know, I've been in that position where it's just burnout, and the reason why is because I was doing too much work. And it's like, you have to balance that shit. And it takes a lot to be like, step back. And for me, for some reason, I just like the weekends. When it comes Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's like Friday, if I got work, I want to do it in the morning, like from 8 to 12, if I have editing work to get done or whatever. But then like Saturday and Sunday is like family time. Spend time with my girl.
No, for sure.
Like,
mind, body, spirit.
It just,
like,
I just don't want
to, for everything in your life.
Like I want to get out. Even if I work on the weekend, I'm like, I want to get out and there's still sunlight. Now it's, it's about to be summer. So it's going to get darker later. So it's like when I get out, like, what can I do? Can I go and ride bikes? Can I go pick up my sister? Can I, kick it with my bro? And like, that's what I'm looking at.
I think the bigger thing though, for me is like, I just get anxiety because I dive into it too much. And now the goal becomes like, okay, you got to do this or you let yourself down. And then that anxiety of like, okay, having to do that. Why did I dial so much into it when all it is just supposed to benefit me? Like it's all really meant for health. And we talk about what's really important is the long game. Right. Is just having a healthy life and being active at 40. And like, so why am I doing all this pressure of I need to meet this deadline by April 24th to run this? Like, don't let the goal consume you, I think. And it's like, or don't let what's around you consume you. Just understand that life is just really dial in what's important.
Yeah. I think that video kind of explains it pretty good. And like, overachievers have some kind of insecurity that they have to prove something to somebody, and they're always working and putting in these mad hours. And with that, the end result is always going to end up in burnout. And that's when you stop. And that's when you just having that balance is just so important. And I've gotten to that point, and we always, I don't know, you think it's because we set ourselves up. We have high expectations of ourselves where it's like, even me, like I'll have thoughts sometimes. I'm like, damn, I'm about to be 29. And it's like, where am I at?
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a lot of things.
Like we said, we have these expectations of ourselves where it's like, damn, I should be made by now or this or that, and it's like, there's something that you have to gradually dim down. Like, oh no,
we have to remind ourselves. I have to remind, everyone has to remind themselves. And it's exactly it.
Everybody's time comes different.
It comes different. Everyone's universal path. I always say Maktub. I always say omens. I say everyone's path is different. Yeah. And like, if that's the case, then your timeline you can't even correlate mine to yours or yours to mine or mine to his, because every different, which crossroads going to take you a different way. But ultimately, hopefully, I just feel that whatever you want in the end, your wants of the universe, your wants of faith, like they'll come true as long as you're not selfish and you're able to work through the same faith that's helping you get there and where they need you to work, and you recognize that when it comes.
Yeah,
that's deep.
It is.
Yeah,
it is.
I feel like that's how it works.
Yes, and man, it's a beautiful thing, man, and just having that balance, because you appreciate the things that are around you. You appreciate every step, every day of the of the week, and you're excited about the journey. That's the most important thing. So that's a big one, man. I like that. Yeah. How does one that is like, because I see it here in the notes, because we got our notes going on and stuff, so I see it, it's like you said goals, and why do we have them, and what can we do to help achieve them? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is your take on that?
I think you can, definitely you got to have a long-term, like yearly vision, right? So like with that goals list, I think what I meant is I took my personal experience from this weekend, and I was just kind of like, hey, you're over stressing because you dived so deep Q1. Like you went in with Darwin, you got this shit started. Like you did this, you invested. I went to at home and bought this. Like I invested time, like effort. And then I made these like milestones in my head. I talked about the marathon on the podcast. I made it a thing. I wanted to get it done. It was this. And then I just sat back and I looked at my goals, and I'm like, damn, my goals were just to long game. Like I got time. We got mad time.
And even with us, for example, when we started the podcast, we wanted to scale it so fast. And it was like, whoa. We need to sit back. And we wanted to travel and go to these other places and interview these people. And I'm like, man, it's kind of stressful. And we're thinking about it too much. But it's like, let it just happen. Let's just let it happen. Let the good omens just do its thing. The universe, what I'm saying? It's just going to happen. So like, just have fun. Let's just chop it up.
Right.
And it's been less weight on the shoulders, you know what I'm saying? Like,
for sure, because you have a capital plan, you have cash flow, and you have what it is, and you have an idea of a forecast, and then you have life. and that's what your family, that's the priority of, and that's to each his own and what their priority list is. And that changes things. And that's why you need to reflect. And I had to like reflect and be like, okay, what's important? And then I dropped off all the things that weren't so important, that are more long game, that I'm like, okay, but it gave me less stress about it because it was just like a weight off my shoulder. So it's like, but they were goals.
Right.
And I just went above and beyond on them. I don't know. And I think everyone's going to have, I think at the point of goals, if they're stressing you out, you probably shouldn't.
Maybe reevaluate that goal.
And always reevaluate your goals. Always reevaluate your long-term plan, because we learn and we evolve as life develops. So if you have a 5-year long-term plan, but these last 2 years you've had crazy experiences and went on this trip and met such and such person that gave you such and such view, and now this 5-year plan seems like it's maybe something you question. Like, always reevaluate your life, right?
Yeah, that's a good one, man. I think it also comes back to like that weekend you're probably stressed thinking about it, right? And you know, what is some of the things, because we all go through it, you know, how can someone address the stress, anxiety, and how do one deal with it to kind of get that relief? Like what helps you when you like feel stressed and like anxious? You know what I'm saying?
So I always, for sure, and I always tell myself, for one, I always like to tell myself, why do you have stress? I'm like, you only got one life. You never know when it's going to end. We don't know what time. We have all these things we just talk about, like why, you know, but obviously you definitely go through those times where you do. And I think for me, I just hit it straight on. All right, what's the problem? How do I find a solution? And like, honestly, I always talk about it. You get paid the amount you get paid for the problems you solve. You get paid for how hard of problems you solve. You know, the guys in high government, they get paid for the high problems they solve. You know, guys in high corporations that work for MBM and Facebook and Instagram, they get paid because they handle situations and they find solutions. So like, you just hit it straight on, bro. And I think when you hit it straight on with yourself and you find a solution within, then you just got to figure out how to communicate that to whatever you're dealing with. I don't know, if you're at home stressing because your mom told you to do this and that, and you disagree with her solely because you're not religious like her, and you just got to address the situation with you. What's going to be the right thing to say? And like, and every problem is going to be different, right? But like, you just got to hit it head on. And I feel like you got to make that internal decision and then just figure out how you deliver. And people could always get better on how they communicate. Maybe you get too hot-headed. Maybe you can't like say it all. And maybe you get caught up in your words and you can't really deliver. Like, oh, it's easy for you to say because you can, you know, so we'll work on that. Or like, but make the decision within you, write it down. And I feel like the stress goes away because it's like the problem's solved within me. Next thing you know, you just got to deliver. And you wait for the delivery, and then you don't stress on the delivery. Like, okay, well, what if they respond with this and I'm still stressed? Like, don't wait on it, because you should just follow your omens. You should know that, have faith. You should know things are going to work out the best way, and what you want is going to work out as long as you are good with you. So once you do those things, like, stress just goes away.
Yeah, it's always, I feel like, going to be a part of life is how you handle it, you know, and
how you deliver.
How you deliver.
But I think you got to make the internal decision first. Like, weigh all the options. What's right in this situation? Who's winning from this situation? Is everybody winning? Or, you know, how does this affect people? How does this affect everyone involved? Like, and then once you make that, you know, that guarantee in your head, like, I'm doing the right thing, then you just figure out how to get it done.
Yeah.
And sometimes it takes 4 moves to get it done. But as long as you know what you're fighting for in the end is real, you'll figure out how to make those 4 moves happen.
Oh yeah, that's good advice, man. I think as we move forward and shit, it's just live and you know, be a better problem solver. That's it. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, find ways to give value to others.
That too. How
do you give value? That's how you and then how do I monetize it? Because some people always say, like, I'm the nice guy. I always give this for free, this service. Say I'm the local handyman in my community that is really good with cars, but everyone in the community goes to me and I help out Richard and I help out this one, but all for free, and I end up making never anything. Like, just definitely learn some business. But if you could be, he might love doing that. He may even love doing it for free, but you can create a business off of it. I mean, you know, you can invoice people, charge people a little bit. Everyone's always willing to pay an extra $20-$40, especially to their boy that's helping them out, giving them a discount already. Right. You know,
that's huge. That's a big one there, but good insight, man. Good insight. And like, as we go, us doing the podcast, we're just trying to find, have, like we said, fun conversations and structure it where it's like, you already know when you see us here and if the podcast is about us, like, what you gonna get. So
facts. Yeah, it's just we having a conversation.
Exactly.
And we're definitely out there networking. When I tell you we're putting Half Court out there, we're going to VCon, we're meeting people, we're spending money, we're gonna get some good guests.
Yes.
But really we just want to chop it up on what's happening, what's new, what are people dealing with at home? How can you relate? How can I relate? And I think that was one of them. We hit it with stress, So I just reflected this weekend. I took a time where it was like just me, and I was at the crib and needed it.
Much needed, yes. So, yeah, let's get to it, man. I think it's good. I think it's a positive. Q1 is already over. We talked about it, and it's just been green all over the board. Like, you know what I'm saying? So let's get to it, man. Looking at, the notes, there is something that you put here, which is kids being entertained by tech versus going outside. And that's a good one.
Yeah, that's on like a lot of people are debating that and like what, and I don't know if they're more disconnected. Everyone's like, well, like, back when I was even little, if my cousin wasn't home, I had to go to the backyard and play by myself. Well, now my little brother, who's also in the similar situation where he's all alone and no cousin if his cousins aren't there, he's got a best friend in Canada that he plays with online, and he's made a connection around the world that I would have never made. And they have a relationship where he's learning things. Like, I remember when he was like 8 or 9, because he's had this friend for a minute, and he's like, mommy. And like my mom was like, where did you learn that? And they tell him because he's from like that part and he has that accent. And I'm like, yo, that's tight. Like, there's a benefit to it also.
Yes. I remember this one, the Xbox 360 just came out, and then it was Xbox Live and stuff. And I remember I had this cool ass online best friend. Like, we literally were best friends.
Really?
Like, connect all the time.
Really? You had that? Okay.
Yes. Yes. I born in 93.
Yeah.
So it was we saw the transition with the technology. Like the 90s era was like that. I feel like that transition from TVs, cell phones, gaming, all that shit. So I had an Xbox 360 and I had a best friend, and he was cool as shit. And every time
how'd you meet him? What game were you playing or what?
Gears of War.
Gears of War. You met him on Gears of War lobby? Yeah. That's tight.
So like it was dope because it's like every time I would look forward after I got out of school, connecting with him, and I wish I had got more information because it's like, damn.
You guys never shared Instagram or anything?
There wasn't Instagram.
See, my little brother AC has him on Instagram. Like, I was like, bro, we're flying to Vancouver. We're gonna go visit your boy. Like,
there's no Instagram. There wasn't. There was Facebook, I think, but I was still a kid. You know what I'm saying? So it's interesting, and it kind of, it's a counterbalance of what like, oh, it's tech, disconnecting these kids, but I don't think so. I think it's a more of a, they're connecting, but on a virtual way, on an online way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it's like you said, like, I feel like it comes back to the balance, but as far as the outside, I don't think like they're doing what we used to do. Because like I said, I lived in both. I was one that would, like, after school, we're meeting up at the park at 6 or whatever. Yeah. And we all pull up in our bikes and like, where are we going? Let's go here. And like, let's play hide and go seek and that kind of shit. You know what I'm saying?
I think at the end of the day too, it's like, okay, so really what we just talked about, the technology is good. The technology has more pros than it has cons. But we need to be smart on how we educate that. Like, how do we, and what I mean by educate is like, how do we not get kids to be so down on themselves when there's negative comments or negative feedback from this technology? Mm-hmm. Like, we need to be better at guiding that because like, I mean, they say it, when you get a like on something and especially at a young age, you just feel that social acceptance and it's almost like a shot of dopamine.
It is.
And now you're like, you want to post every day and you want to get these likes and you want to make sure your likes are good and you're doing more things and you're looking at other people and you're saying, well, they're getting these likes, so I'm going to be like them. And like, how do we educate and balance that so we just use the technology as people for the good things and keep away from it? Because I mean, that Social Dilemma on Netflix, suicides from 2000 to 2010, they did teen suicides for boys and girls. And from 2010 to 2020, they did a study and it increased like 180% for boys and 140% for girls. So it's like, damn, like, kids are really hard on themselves. Mm-hmm. So we got to get ahead of that because I think the technology is good overall.
It's more
Internet's
beneficial.
great for everybody because we all have a place to go, a place to learn. But how do we not feel so bad when XRP 314 says we suck?
Yeah.
Like, fuck you, bro.
Or your face is fat.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
Who cares? But how do we educate? You know, how do we control the technology in a way where it's still beneficial to our people and not detrimental? And I mean, bro, the social dilemma, it's a real topic. Like it's
eye-opening.
Yeah, because they're geared on dollars. We just talked about businesses. Me and you just had a conversation and we said, dang. And you said, damn, everything's based on money. And I said, yeah, money and women, but money, right? While the social dilemma, they talk about Facebook and Instagram, and they brought this big guy and they said, how do you monetize Facebook? How do we monetize Instagram? He said, advertisements. So they said, okay, well, what are advertisers going to look at? How are we going to tell Levi Jeans that we made them money? And how are we going to justify that amount and charge them? Well, then Levi Jeans is like, we're going to give them all these analytics. We're going to say time on screen. This person correlated maybe a purchase with it. But the biggest thing is we need users, because the biggest metric is users and time on screen. And if they're looking at and how many ads,
you there. They need you there.
Because they can run X amount of ads per you being on the screen for an hour, per you being on the screen for 30 minutes. And that's X amount of dollars in their pocket. So the fact that that's their profitability roadmap, and I mean, if you see Social Dilemma, Facebook, they sent all of their developers to the Harvard School of Psychology to see and learn how people think and how they can software develop so we can stay on Facebook longer. Well, he stared at Susie J's photo on Saturday night at midnight for an hour because he probably misses Susie J, right? So if we haven't had Kyle to the Facebook page in his iPhone, we're going to just bring, Susie J just added a new photo. And that's going to bring him to the app. And we're learning these things and developing these notifications to get you back. Because our profitability roadmap is based on your time on our device. And now apps are competing against each other. And then I can now take this data on who you look at, what you were interested in, what you double clicked, and sell it to Google and sell it to people. And so it's kind of like a funnel of like, we got to regulate this. Bro, it could be bad because now it's keeping us on screen. And okay, let's go in that funnel. Since their programmers keep us on screen, they're also going to give us videos that we just looked at. The algorithm's just learning. Facebook's learning how to get better every day too. So say Tommy, that's 13, just decided to look up Will Smith and Slap and this. And now all of a sudden, maybe the algorithm's kind of like Slap, maybe hit, maybe shows one of the videos from the Baltimore Ravens guy slapped her in the elevator, right? Maybe it starts going through a wormhole because it gives hashtags and because he looked at one thing and kept Tommy 13 on 4, and the algorithm works that way. So now Tommy's on a wormhole of abuse, slapping chicks. He might just go to school and slap somebody because he saw it on it, and the algorithm works for his attention to stay on that screen. So like, God forbid the wrong kid on YouTube clicks the wrong hashtag because it's going to send them. That's how the algorithm works. Let's keep sending them down this wormhole.
Yeah, and I think it's scary to think, and I think right now with, for example, TikTok being the main platform, you know, it's a good and bad thing. It's so simple to use and it can be addicting. But what TikTok is doing, because it's the leader right now, it's one of the leaders in attention, right? It's super simple. There's a For You page that feeds you content that you like. Yeah. But the thing is, it started with 1 minute videos. So like you had to be quick with it, first 5 seconds. And I feel like as time went by, the app got more popular, more people got into it. Attention spans are fucking trash right now. Like we're talking about attention spans of a goldfish, which can be a bad thing because like even conversating with people or learning information, if the video it's a minute longer, like you're just going to keep scrolling for that short gratification. And it's like, that's not good. You know? That's not good.
Yeah. Okay. I got an opinion on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. I kind of agree with you, but then I don't, because I'm like, maybe it's just us evolving on how we give that information. Like, now we're just actually getting quicker. Before we didn't have the internet. Now we had this whole space where all this information was available. Now we even have apps like TikTok and these other things. Vine was there too for a little while. Like that gave these quick videos.
But it hurts you. It hurts you mentally because your attention span.
Because what you want to pay attention to, you will for the rest of your life. Your career, your goals, your path, your woman. Like if you want to pay attention to something, you're going to for a long period of time. We're just debating on how we retrieve that information. Like, and we're just retrieving that information faster. We have these apps where like we skip to the videos. We skip right now and we're like, no, I just want to know what's on 422:33 to tell me how the fuck to do this. And I'm out.
But it tells you.
Is
like
it bad?
You can't, yes,
or are we just evolving how we learn?
You can't build that relationship as a creator, and then people don't have the patience to go through it. They're like, let me go straight down to the chase. Like I'm a consumer I consume a lot of podcasts, and that's my way to keep the balance. But I find myself sometimes when I go on TikTok that the video's good, but I just like, I'll like it to have it there, and maybe like if I'm not interested in watching it at the moment, I'll come back later. But the whole purpose is I wasn't able to watch it because it wasn't, like in my interest or whatever, like I'm keep scrolling, like, and I'm like, damn, like 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 5 seconds in, I'm like, I just want another video. And this video is something I'm interested in, but for some reason, I just don't want to watch it right now. I want some quick shit. You know what I'm saying? That is like where it gets a little tricky. And it can be like, I just feel like it just can't. There's at the end of the day, there's still going to be that balance. But if your attention span gets shorter and shorter and shorter, that's not good. It's not.
Yeah.
I just feel like.
I think that and you think, I don't know if these apps are necessarily doing that, though. I don't think they're necessarily.
Think about it.
That.
TikTok was the guy that started everything. Now you got Instagram Reels. Now you got Facebook with they kind of got some YouTube Shorts.
Okay. And again, maybe
YouTube was a long form platform, but now it's like
facts.
Now we got to adjust because even though we have 6 billion users and they know that the content that's 10 minutes and longer is the content king, but how do we compete with TikTok? They're the king right now because their content is shorter. It's like fast paced. So then they came out with the YouTube Shorts, which is the competition, literally copy paste of TikTok. Same with Instagram. So it's like everybody at the end of the day is competing for our attention. They want us in the app longer.
They do.
So
they do.
That's what it really comes down to.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, like it's all on us. It's on the person. I was just having a thought, like, if. Trying to even think of the thought I was trying to have.
You got a brain fart?
Yeah, I had a brain fart.
Hey, first one, bro.
It was honestly too much. It was like, because it was like, all right, well.
They'll probably come back. I've been there, bro. Trust me, I've been there. Brain farts are going to happen, so get used to it. But no, it is. It's interesting, bro. And there's certain things that I feel like needs to be regulated. I think
that was my thing. Education. We just gotta educate how to use the technology. Again, like it's like, okay, you can get caught in learning all this information. As my mom had an 18-year-old little girl, she didn't have that to consume. So now we have people that are just there and they're consuming this information, but they're never applying it. They're never. But again, that's why I feel like people have always been people. You have people that just stay at home and watch TikTok videos all day and don't work. Like, and if it was back in the day in the 80s, you had people just staying at home because they wanted to just throw the ball at the wall or listen to AC/DC on the radio all day. Like whatever form of entertainment they had at the time, they used it. Like no matter what, people are always going to be people. So I don't necessarily think the technology has changed folks and we've lost attention span or folks have like changed all of a sudden. And, I think we do need to get better at educating and we need to regulate how they make money. And we need to honestly be on top of that because that long term could affect us as people. But like, I don't necessarily think like it's come in and changed. People have always been people. People have been lazy and they're either going to do what they were doing at the time, what was available. And in the metaverse, it's going to be the same way. They're just going to be chilling in the metaverse all day. And they're going to be, and people are going to be like, people are too much in the metaverse all day and they don't do that. And it's always going to be a consistent argument. And that's why, and it'll always be a consistent topic. But like, even if we go back in time, right? There was people that just chilled, I'm sure.
There's people that
house all day.
You think about it. There's people's time. Screen time is 12 hours, 9 hours. That's fucking ridiculous. You're telling me you spend 9 hours a day? That's a shift.
Okay.
On your phone.
Okay, but what if they got that screen time and they're making $1 million a year?
No way somebody.
What if it's Twitch?
No way
What if
your
it's
average.
It's homeboy on
No,
Twitch, Ninja.
no
It's Ninja,
way, no
and
way.
he's
That-
cashing out,
come
but he's got
on.
that. You know what I'm
Your
saying? Like,
average person is gonna average about 8 to 12 hours. Your average. I'm talking
I
about.
don't even know what I average. No, that's a lot.
Yes, yes, yes.
8 to 12 what?
Yes, screen time, like screen time.
No.
Yes.
Let's see.
Look at your screen time right
I'll
now.
look at it
What
right
is your
now.
average? I'm gonna show you my average.
How do you?
Let's see.
Is that it?
I'll say
Is
a
that
screen
the main
time.
Screen?
7 hours, bro. That's 7 hours
7 hours of what?
of screen time, and I'll
It
show you
says
what
an
apps.
hour product. Oh, okay.
There. Look at it. I'll give you a breakdown.
okay.
See activity, and then, for example, mine says 6 hours.
Damn. Hey,
Yes.
Today, this is today. Okay, let me see the week.
See, and then
daily average 5 hours. You called it.
daily.
Daily
Yeah.
average 5 hours.
Yeah. You get what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
like you subconsciously said, no, people don't spend that much time, but you
5
being
hours a
productive,
day?
you're productive.
But you gotta be productive.
You're a productive person, right? So you have your reasons, but imagine somebody that's not productive. That shit is doubling, tripling.
Yeah.
Somebody that, like you said, people are people. They're gonna be lazy, and they're
Yeah.
gonna be
Or they're not going to use it to learn, or they're not going to use
just
it
to consume.
yeah,
Just to consume.
to consume, or to use apps to trade, to whatever. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
So, and I'll tell you, like, okay, you have a valid reason, like, oh,
But that's what I'm saying.
I do
That's
trading.
to my point that people are just people at the end of the day. Like, it's either you want it or you don't. And
Yeah.
people have always wanted it and not wanted it. It's just what was available at that time. It's like they always say crime increased. Like, nah, bro, we were there in the Western Trails fucking humping homegirl in the back and had no consent.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that shit always has happened. Like, now we just have videos of it, you know, and now we have it. It's out there. The war in Ukraine is out there.
Yeah, it's documented.
Yeah.
Like now with social media, everybody can see what's going on. And
they got to make the government has to make moves based on it. Like, you know, you got politicians out there like fighting, and they're like, yo, like, this is war crimes. Have you seen these videos? Like, this is not supposed to. And now look, the government's coming out, and the government didn't want, the whole ultimate goal was like, they didn't want a direct conflict with Russia. And now they're coming out because all the, you know, and everyone's right. Like, Putin's committing war crimes. But now we're directly telling him that he's going to go to trial for these war crimes. And I don't even know what the sentences are like. Like, the sentence might be some shit, and Putin might be like, nah, I'm out. Like, or we're going. Like, nah, I'm not going to be a war criminal. And if you're a war criminal,
how does that even work too?
It's got to affect treaties. It's got to affect how you trade.
Like, how do you
It's
even
gotta-
put him into like prison and shit? Like,
Well, they said they're going to run a trial, and I don't know.
How?
Once
How
they
do
run
you-
the trial, well, you run a trial within the U.S. Like, you say he's a war criminal, like, that's how it works. Like, if someone is claimed a war criminal or even did a war crime during war that's American, you go to trial just like anyone else would. So Putin just goes, even if he's not there, he may get representation or how he's going to do it, but he's going to be in trial. And so they're going to basically say, like, that hospital, how he handled the war, the attack, and how that went down that day, whether or not it was a war crime and what it falls under those orders. And I'm not like super familiar with those, but how it falls under that, I don't know what the sentences look like either. But I'm sure it affects like treaties, trade, and it's all coming because these politicians now are like, yo, like, we're seeing it online. That's fucked up.
Yeah.
And so the administration's pushed in a direction, and the whole goal was not to. Why would they tell Putin you're on trial? Why would it come out and say, like, we're gonna punish you for a war crime if it wasn't our internal people saying we need to be American, we need to do this, we need to stand up? Like, if not, if I was the White House, I would have avoided all that, because our total goal was to avoid conflict.
yeah,
you know,
just not a good look, you know.
and we're
it
still
doesn't-
living our lives. We're watching the Grammys, we're watching the
Yeah.
ESPYs, and there people
We're just
are
adapting.
dying.
Yeah,
People are,
no,
like,
and Intel right now, and like everything is raising, inflation, gas prices. Fuck. Like,
Yeah.
it is. Yeah, it's one of those.
But
man.
I mean, that's the thing is, like, you just gotta be thankful for where you're at. You know what you got, because
So what do
damn,
you-
it could
what do-
always be a lot worse.
right. What do you think of reincarnation?
Oh, I believe in it.
You believe in it?
Like an afterlife.
Yeah, so you believe that maybe, and once your time is up, that you
Okay,
can
it's not
be
that I
born. You can be born in like a third world country, and your
Yeah.
life is totally different. Like,
100%.
You think?
I think yeah. I think that's definitely a possibility, because I've seen stories where kids they say like I was a pilot in World War II.
I've seen that.
And my name
I've
was
seen that.
Arnold da Vinci or this whatever.
And I got buried here.
And you look back and all that shit's accurate. Yeah. Those are real stories where those kids bring people up and it's actually somebody that's there. And I'm like, man, I really believe in energy a lot. And like, I think, you know, what you take goes on with you. So I really feel like, yeah, we as a spirit, as a soul, like just kind of moves on and we just kind of maybe reincarnate another life. And that's why I feel like at the end of the day, bro, happiness, like what really matters, love,
the mind,
what you give, what energy you know what I think, well, not what I think, what I hope. This is what I hope. I hope that I die and I get to sit up and I get to see this map and I get to see all the people and all the memories just come back. Whether it was the homie in the Navy that was having a bad day and he didn't know what he was going to do and his mom was going through shit back home and I could relate because I was going through boom, 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 or I got to say, and we had a conversation and I get messages all the time like, damn, Case, like you always talked about boom, boom, boom. Well, I think at the end, I'm 80 now. You have all these stories, different lives, Navy, entrepreneurship, down and out. You know, and you get to see the lights you affected and changed and touched. And then you get to see if your direct reflection helped them help somebody else. And how you changed them directly affected how they influence people in their life. And you just get to see this big, huge map. You get to feel really good about it. It's very euphoric. And then all of a sudden, boom, clock's erased. You're wiped out.
And you
it's
start
on to
again.
the next.
Yeah, it's interesting, bro. I think this is a rabbit hole I want to dive in later on as I get more information, but the mind, the subconscious and how that works. And like, there's one theory that says that in 2012, we all died, but our minds are just programmed to like, just stay up infinite. Like there's then with the multiple universes and like, you know, you died in a multiple universe and like, it's wild. And like, there's breakdowns that you kind of like, you start looking at it and you're like, cause it's like the mind is powerful, bro. And it's like,
sure.
It's one of our biggest, like, you know, we talk about simulation and we talk about like, is this real? The Mandela effects kind of prove like, you know, that we're living maybe in a parallel universe or some shit like that. So like, it can get very like,
you just got to be pragmatic about the situation. And you got to be like, there's also, I love the curious. You got to be curious. You got to be open. But I feel like I've been very curious and very open throughout my life. And it's led me to now believe like, you know, what I believe in, like universe and like, maybe reincarnation is a possibility, and maybe it's a possibility that I'll get to see your entire life in a whole instance again through energy and through just kind of what's simple and what really means, what's real. I don't know. And I think you're lucky where you're at, but it's all also based on what you know too, you know? So we're born here and we know we have an opportunity and we see people on our socials, you know, going places and doing this and achieving this and being able to do that. So now we're in a position where we're like, we want to compete with our community and we want to establish ourselves in that community. Well, if you're fucking born in Djibouti, Africa, which I've been to, and it's a military base and you get, you know, stop there for 2 days and get resupplied, like all you know is what you know, bro. So like, what's going to make me happy? Maybe I just want to find true love. And then I find her. And then I just want to look at sunsets from the south part of Africa because I've heard they're the beautiful. They're the most purest. And the waters in Cape Town are gorgeous. And to me, that's all I want. That's it.
It's valid.
And that like made my life, and maybe I find it. Maybe I go through the trenches. I got to deal with this, and this. Boom, boom, boom. Meet homegirl. Next thing you know, we take off. We set in the sun. Like and you achieved all of life. But like we're in this circumstance, and I see people in my community and what in the U.S. are doing, and they can do the boom, 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 my age, and boom, boom, boom. And you got to be careful with comparing. You can never compare. Your journey is your journey, but it's also a different standard.
Yeah.
But is it a bad one or is it a good one? Like, that's also an argument too. Is Homeboy's life maybe more fulfilled? I don't know.
Or maybe you never can know. You never can know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because in the surface, it might show like he lived his best life, but deep down he might be like, I really wasn't fulfilled. But I just went with what I thought was, You know, there's a lot of shit. There was a movie on Netflix. I forgot the name of it, but it's kind of interesting because there's a scientist that discovers life after death, right? And there's something out there, right? And he's still doing these studies and stuff. But when the news got leaked, because he was trying to keep it as secret as possible, because I'm still trying to research this shit. I'm still trying to see what is the actual, like, where do you go and stuff. So he just make this big discovery. It gets leaked. Everybody starts to be like, oh, there's an afterlife. Suicide rates start going up. They have a board literally with 6-figure numbers of like suicide rates going up by the minute. And he's just trying to study it. So it was a very interesting movie, because it's just like, people were just like, man, I'm out of here. This place is shit. And I know there's more out there. Boom. So everybody was just committing suicide. It was an interesting movie, but it kind of raised these eyebrows of like, what is there after? You know, is that reincarnation, or is it, you know?
Yeah, no, it's
we
everyone's
always
question.
Growing
What's
up,
next?
we was taught heaven, hell, and I don't think that makes sense, but you know, it's there.
Especially now with their rules. I mean, the rules that I grew up seeing in catechism and I'm like, what?
Yeah,
and now
I grew up
older,
Catholic. I grew up Catholic, and it doesn't make sense, you know.
Yeah.
And my grandpa was a firm believer that was just obviously just to keep
You only
people on
know
track.
what you know.
You only know what you know. But he was like, you telling me I got to buzz my ass here and on earth, and then for just doing shit, like not following these rules, I'm going to go to hell after I bust my ass here? Like, that doesn't make sense. But
that's why you got to stay curious, though.
That's why you got to stay curious. That's what it comes down to. Speaking of life and afterlife, have you had a moment where you saw your life flash before you?
Yeah, that Columbia story.
That was like one.
That was that moment, bro.
I got one.
You do? What?
I got one. So this is the time that I thought I was going to lose my life. Like I saw my entire life. I saw the moment where ambulance were picking up my body and shit. So this is how it went, bro. This is when Monsters University had just came out in Puerto Rico, right? So I hit my buddies up, let's go watch this movie, because I'm a big fan. I've watched the first one.
Hell yeah.
So we go to the mall and we go to the movies, right? And it's me and two of my other buddies, and we ended up watching the movie, and now we're on our way home, and we all went in one car, and it's my homie's PT Cruiser. So we go to the McDonald's because we're hungry. We go through the drive-thru. We're in my buddy's car, right? My buddy's like, hey, Darwin, won't you drive? Okay. Order us the food, and then I'll go, because I need to go to the gas station to get a charger. And the gas station was like walking distance. So
he got out of the whip.
He got out the whip. I went, okay, boom, ordered the food, went through the drive-thru, and I'm picking up my order, right? So there's this blacked out Mercury, like those cop cars, you know, and then like when you're in that McDonald's drive-thru, there's two lanes. There's the lane where the cars are waiting for their orders, and then there's the one where cars park, like they pass by the park, and then or you go out to the exit to go to the main road, right? So there's a black Mercury there, and he's going slowly. So I'm like, fuck it, we already got our order. My homie, I'm still driving. He was like, you want me to drive? I'm like, I'll drive. So he's going slow, and I cut him to get in because he was going super slow.
Yeah.
I don't know if he took that personal. Anyways, going to the main avenue.
My God.
So
I hate that.
I'm just like, whoa. And I see the Mercury head get hella close. I look, and I'm like, didn't pay attention. So I'm like, got super close again. Like I'm talking about like right by side of me. Check this. I'm
side
like,
by side?
Yes, so super close. Like not tailgating me, like right by my side.
Oh, wow.
The second time. And I'm like, so we all looked. And what we see.
Are both windows down?
No, it's dark, but you can see shadows, right?
Oh, okay.
So what we all saw it. We saw him put the mask on and like trigger his gun, like. And I look, and I told my homies, like, did you guys see this? And they're like, yeah. So they're getting close again, like right there. And I'm like, fuck. I step on the gas, right? And when they get close again, I'm thinking they're gonna shoot. So I tell everybody to get down, and I got down. I didn't look, bro. I'm like this. I'm like everybody.
Oh shit.
I was like, get down, and then. I didn't look. I'm driving, bro. And I hit the curve, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm driving. That's the moment I realized, right? So I keep going, and I'm like, fuck, I'm not dying today. And then my homie was starting to get nervous. So he was like, take the curve, like go to this, turn and shit. I'm like, hell no, we're in a slow ass PT Cruiser. If I do that, they can just, hit us from behind, So that's in my mind.
Everyone's going through it. Yeah.
Everybody's going through it. So I ran every like red light. I was like, fuck, if we get in a crash, fuck it. But I'm just running every red light. In that moment, bro, they kept chasing us, and there was like probably within half a mile, there was a police station. That's my like, let's get to the police station. But in that moment, like that I was like, oh, should I take the curve or not? He's telling me to just take this turn. I'm like, fuck, I saw my whole life flash in front of me because I really didn't know what their intentions was. I just saw that they just were able to get us and they just started shooting, boom, 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 boom. And I saw the ambulance pick up my body, me being in the news, my mom being like hella upset, crying. So that was like, boom, we get through the light. We go to the, we were able, they turned as soon as because they knew there was a police station. So they just turned as soon as they saw us. Like, we just kept going. And we got to the, police station, and bro, my homie came up to me. He gave me a strong ass hug. He was like, bro, I don't know what would I've done if I would have been driving? Cause I would have probably had a panic attack. Thank you.
Yeah.
Because you was like, I'm not dying today. I'm stepping on the gas.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wasn't ready to die. I wasn't ready. You know what I'm saying? So it was one of those like, fuck, you see your life flash in front of you, and it's fucking wild, bro. So, and that Colombia one, that's when you saw like
that was the one. Yeah. But I've had some funny shit happen. I had a similar story to yours. I was in high school. I was in a Geo Metro, and there was 3 of us. It was me, Chris, and this kid Baraza. I remember they're on the football team, and we're driving in the Metro, and it was around 4th of July, so we had fireworks, and I'm going through the movie theater because we're thinking about like, yo, what do you want to do? And we always used to sneak into Cottonwood Theater. We sneak in and we watch whatever movie we want. So it's a little back door. So we're looking around the movie theater for a parking spot, and I accidentally turned down the one where you're turning the wrong way. So some people turn So I turned down the wrong one on accident. This dude comes up, he's like honking at me. We're like, and I'm in a little Geo, bro, and he's like talking shit, and he says like, wrong way, asshole, as he moves. And I'm like, oh, fuck this guy, right? And I'm in high school. Like, so me and the boys, we leave, we're kind of like talking shit. Well, he didn't stay at the movie either, and we're at the same stoplight, and he's got his windows down, and we got our windows down. And I'm like, yo, that's homeboy. And so we light one of the fireworks, and it's like one of those ones that's like a bunch of crackle bombs that goes,
yeah.
Right? So we light it, screw up, it's in the little Geo, whoo, throw it in, bro. I kid you not. The whole front, smoke coming out. He stopped in the middle of this street called Coors, right? Stops. We're kind of driving slow, just looking in the rearview mirror like, yo. And all of a sudden the smoke clears, and he's driving like a pretty fast car. Like, it's like a Camaro. It's got to be something. I remember it was something fast. It was like a fast Mustang or something. Next thing you know, the smoke clears. This motherfucker's right on our ass. And the Geo, bro, went 0 to 60 in 23 seconds. We timed that shit. It was the slowest car ever. So I'm going like my fastest, probably like at 65 on Coors. And he's right behind us. I'm like, oh shit. Well, we see in the rear view, he does a little, and he's got a gun. And I'm like, oh shit. So bro, we're pulling up to this light, and the light's turning yellow, and I see traffic starting to stop. And I literally look in the rearview mirror, bro, and I see this dude just like this. And I'm like, we have a medium right before the light. And I just pulled the e-brake. Bro, like a movie, straight all the way around. This kid, Baraza, we had in the back, he was a freshman, right? He was a lineman, big boy, but like a teddy bear. So he's in the back, and I'm like, bro, where do I go? He's like, go left. And I was really trying to go right. Bro, I like swerve, I lose control, hit the curb, roll into a neighborhood by this school called St. Pius. And like the dude's car had like an exhaust. So it was like you could hear it. So all of a sudden we hit this curb, lost control, boom, boom, car goes. And I hear and everybody, bro, bails into the neighborhood. I said, fuck yeah, I stayed by the Geo and just waited. And homeboy just went straight down Coors and was looking for us that way. So like he bailed, we didn't see him. I had 4 flat tires. But the cool thing about the Geo was there was a shop on Central. It was like $10 for a donut. So you could buy like donut tire and replace it for like $10, bro. And they would maybe charge you like a $15 fee for all 4 or whatever. But it was super cheap. So my stepdad was like heavy in that biker gang. So called him up. He changed my tires. We were back on the road. But like I didn't see my life flash before my eyes. But it was a similar situation where it was like
adrenaline.
And it was like, the wrong guy to throw a firework at. But
that's wild that y'all did that shit. Y'all was hot. Y'all was hot.
I was wild.
Y'all was some hot boys in the days.
Yeah.
Damn, bro, it's crazy. So going back to the story you said last podcast, had you not, joined the Navy and stuff, your life would have been probably a different turn. Like,
way different.
Cause damn, are you a hot boy, bro? Imagine you would have got the wrong person. Like
wrong. It could have been wrong. It wasn't even that it was wrong person. It was things I was doing. It was who I was hanging out with. It was what I thought was cool. It was what it's only what I knew made me money.
Right.
You know, I was a part of these big, like, you know, these deals that would go down, and I was literally, and I remember the homeboy came up to me and he was like, here, hold this, stand here and look tough. And I was like, all right. And I just held it and I stood there and I looked and I was like, and always, bro, Jordans, whatever I needed, boom, money. And if we needed it was never about taking from people. I always wanted to be like Robin Hood, to be honest. I always wanted to just figure out how to figure out the system. And that's why I talk about it in even the last podcast, like systems and understanding systems. And all you know when you grow up is what's around you and who you look up to. So if you know, stepdad's in the banditos and you got this cousin doing this and this person doing this, well, and you're still intuitive, you still want to win, you still want to have nice things, you still understand that BET After Dark's cool and you want to be a part. Like, how do you get these clothes? How do you get these things? Like, so you just figure out what's resources are available. And if those are the only resources available, you just make those decisions, you know? And it wasn't until my whole environment changed. Until I got a drastic change where now I'm in this room sleeping with 40 dudes and they're all from around the country. I got homeboy Clancy from
different
Boston.
Perspectives and shit.
Different perspectives. And now you're sharing stories about what you just went through. And literally, like, in my last 2 years, things just changed. These last 2 years just changed where I was willing to push the boundaries. I was willing to say, okay, well, I remember we went off-roading in my boy's Bronco, and the battery dies. Like, the off-road fails. We're stuck in the dirt. Homeboy Glenn was like, well, battery's like $117. And he had a Mustang. And we were like, bro, we go to AutoZone. We'll go take that shit and we'll run out with it. And he was like, nah, no, you guys won't. Crazy. You guys are crazy. And it was like, drive your Mustang and we'll show you. He's like, okay. So goes, drives us, like, waits outside. I'm going to wait outside of AutoZone, wait for the battery. So we come out, bro. Literally, I always tell my boy Chris, I'm like, yo, go, like, distract him. All we got to do. And I always had a game plan. I was always like, let's just figure out who's walking the floor. If there's two on the floor, like, all you got to do is just go to the thing. Bro, ask, like, what a Honda Civic 2003 that we have at the house looks up, and have them look at the computer, talk to the homeboy. You know how to do it. Like, hey, that's kind of cool. I like your shoes, bro. I like your, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Make everybody. Then I go to the back, I find the battery, and then you start to see me. 1, 2, he knows. Like, he see, or you make that look, or you have that sick, and it was like, boom. So sure enough, little Glenn comes out the back, like, we come running out of AutoZone, beep. And actually that AutoZone was like a beep, beep. Boom, and a battery, take it to him. Boom, now we were off-roading again in the fucking back. And everyone's experience and everyone's life was good. And that was always me. Like, how do we continue these experiences and how do we live like everyone else? Like, how do we do it? And I would just figure out ways.
So do you believe in, like, fake it until you make it? Do you think that's a thing?
No. Well, okay, to an extent. Like, okay, if I don't wear suits, but I got to wear a suit to this event to get in, yeah, I'm going to wear it, like, but it's not a fake, like, and I'm not going to fake who I am. Mm-hmm. And I think at the end of the day, authenticity and what you truly mean, and I mean it because, like, Ice Cube said it back in the day, every hood's the same. And I've seen it, like, and you go to different places and you come from here and you don't, I mean, you just tell people what you've done or tell people what you know, tell people who you are. Those people always look at you and they find respect. And then you end up sharing stories and you have common ground, whether this dominoes game is kind of like this Jinja game or this game that the Chinese play, or, you know, or the dice game that the Vietnamese play. Like, it all ends up equalizing. So, like, for me, I feel like for sure it's just authenticity. At the end of the day, that's how you communicate. And by being authentic and what that is, even if the people you're telling actually help you, they might help you fix what's wrong. Like, they might be like, you're saying actually this, but what do you really mean? Or they'll dive deeper. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's it. That one's one of those where it's like, it's interesting because to a certain degree, how big are you gonna fake it, and, like, are you gonna be somebody you're not? You know?
Yeah.
That's one of those.
You can't. Yeah. And that, again, you know, do you fall to what?
I just always think of, like, always keeping it real.
Sell out.
You know,
Yeah. Do you
always
sell
keeping
out?
it real. Yeah, always keeping it real, because at the end of the day, it's like, if you fake it and you're gonna being somebody you're not, then you're being too different person. Like you're being two different people, you know what I'm saying?
100%.
So
that's why at the end of the day, though, if you're true to you, and it may even be where you're able to announce your failures. Like, bro, who the fuck talks about and says like, I reflected on the weekend and I was like, damn, I'm talking about too much goals and it's in my stress. And it's like, bro, like you got to be willing to do that though. You got to be willing to be real. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it is tough. Like it is tough, but because we're not always right. So, and that's the balance also between like what you put online and what you put out there versus what you share with your people and who you trust. Because if you're looking all the time to get better in answers, you might also listen to everybody and then kind of go the wrong direction or misinterpret something and how it really is. You know?
Man, good stuff, bro.
Yeah, it's
good stuff, man. I think as of right now, what you think?
Where we at?
55.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
you want to talk about something else before we wrap it up?
Yeah, what you got? I don't know.
All right, all right.
What do you want to do? I want to talk a little.
So there's something interesting here. This is, Black China was trending, right, on Twitter. Black China. She's saying like, oh, like being a mom is so hard, so stressful, and she deserves child support. Apparently, she's not getting child support, right? So, she has two baby daddies, which is Rob Kardashian and Tyga.
Shit.
So they commented and they said,
Make it nasty.
I pay $37,000 a year for my daughter's school and handle everything, every single medical expense. I pay for her activities, everything. And Rob has her from Tuesday to Saturday. Why would he pay child support? And then Tyga comments and says, I pay $40,000 a year for my son's school and he lives with his mom only Saturday. Why would he pay child support? So then Twitter just went crazy, bro. Twitter, you already know. They started doing memes and
yeah, but
so
what's your take?
I think the men are in the right. I mean, you got Rob, for example, that says she only has the kid on Sundays. She only has him on Sundays. Like, what are you stressing about? Like, why is it so hard for you? And then Tyga, I guess Tyga's son is a little bit, for longer, like from Thursday to Saturday or some shit. But man, why'd you pull that? Why? Do you think it's just more of we're celebrities, so we have to put this out there on a tweet and like, because why can't these conversations be held behind closed doors? What do you think? Is it just?
Oh wow, that's just that could be the paparazzi finding out. Like once they find out, you kind of got to address it.
It was a tweet.
Oh, okay. So who tweeted it?
Black China.
And then Tyga responded.
And then Rob responded.
Yeah, you're kind of right. Like I kind of would just ignore it and just kind of be like, I'm going to handle this the best way the courts are going to handle it. Like,
but I mean, it's a win for Tyga because they already explained their situation. So Twitter's just clowning and trolling Black China. So it's a benefit, but like she could have avoided this whole situation by just it's like, come on, Black China. So what is your take on it, bro?
Yeah, it sounds like she fucked up, but I don't know. My whole thing is just like, I get you're paying for the school because that's the quality of the kid. If her life is benefiting from your hard work and it's not directly affecting the kid, then I'm not paying for your fucking Gucci purse.
Yeah.
After we're not together, you're not my girl. I'm not going to pay for your Gucci purse anymore. I'm not going to pay for the Lexus payment. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to pay for the kid's school.
I'm going to
pay for his clothes. I'm going to have him looking swaggy. I'm going to give him a Venmo if he needs lunch money, whatever, right? But like, if it's affecting your like Chanel bag, like nah.
Your nails, your fucking makeup, your wigs.
No, that's whack. And if you're the type of person that's using our child to say,
I got saved.
Yeah, or just say I need money because I'm doing it for this person, but you're really keeping it for you. That's not being transparent. That's not being real. That's going down a wormhole, and that's why you posted it on the internet and people gave you a backlash.
She thought she was gonna get the benefit of the doubt, like, oh, you're good.
And hopefully you learn. Hopefully she learns.
Because it backfired on her.
It backfired.
Like,
it sounds like it. Yeah.
But I just feel like with that, I mean, have you heard of the Brittany Renner story? And
no.
No.
Brittany Renner.
Brittany Renner's like she's an Instagram thought. Instagram model, and she got with PJ Washington, a rookie.
What?
You know who's PJ? Yeah. So she got with him, and she's in her 30s.
Brittany
right?
what?
Brittany Renner.
Brittany Renner. She hot?
She is.
Okay.
She can get the pipe.
Like blondie,
but
brunette,
I think
little. Let's get a picture of Brittany.
Brittany
Renner, whatever.
Brittany Renner.
Brittany Renner. Yeah. Let's see what she's looking like.
Fuck, I forgot to even spell her name. Fuck, I'm gonna look her up on Instagram. But okay. My whole point is, she ends up going out with this rookie. I believe they even got married.
What?
She really seducted, like.
She's older.
She's older,
maybe
yeah.
It's love. Was it love?
It was not love, bro.
How do you know it was
because
love?
she said it.
Why do you know? What do you mean?
She said it, bro.
What did she say?
She got saved.
Oh. Don't save her.
She got saved. She said it.
Saved.
Because it even him, he was butthurt. He was like, I don't even know how to spell. Fuck. Anyway, she looks fine, bro.
So what about it? Like,
okay, so
how did she get saved? What do you mean?
So she ends up getting
streets?
married, right? She ends up getting married and then gets pregnant, right? When the baby gets
That's not saving her. That's impregnating her.
Baby gets born, she files for divorce.
Oh,
and takes him to child support. PJ was devastated. He tweeted about it, bro.
Really?
So the court, I don't know if this was went through, but the court actually said, hey, you need to pay this, because her thing was like, he needs to pay me child support. The court was granting her $200K of his salary.
Wow.
I think it was a month. Some ridiculous shit. Not a year, a month. Some ridiculous shit.
Like, get facts, but like, so a percentage of what he makes.
Yes. And it's like, he's a rookie. He doesn't even have like that contract yet. And I don't know how good is he, but the whole point,
the thing is, she's not going to use it on the kid.
Yes.
She's going to use it on her and the baby.
Does a kid need that much?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it should be regulated. Like, and I even go based off of what he's making a year, but what does the baby need to be good? You know what I'm saying? What do you think about that?
I hope she saves it. I think he got screwed because he's just, sometimes there's, different, I guess, variables, different. So for him, the law may be written in a way where it says, and it makes sense for the majority of people, and you got to give X amount of your percentage to give X amount of living standards to your ex-wife so she can raise the kid in proper living conditions as he was born in, like blah, blah, blah. And maybe the law is written in a way where it helps the many, but he was in a niche situation where all of a sudden he's making 1.2 a year, and they're like, hey, we're going to take $20K a month from your salary to give her these living standards. You brought her in, you had the baby in. And is it right?
Because he was butthurt.
I don't think it is. I think he earned that money, and I just hope she saves it. I hope one of them saves it.
He was butthurt. He was like,
yeah, I bet.
He was like, I thought this was real, but nah, it was her tricks. Like, let me get this youngster.
Smart.
I'm here. I'm a fit Instagram model. I got a fat ass. You know what I'm saying? So.
But it's his fault. He shot his shot.
He did,
J. Cole has that song, Baby Inside Lost Ones. And it's like, but what about your seed? But what about your seed? Like, you're a man, bro. You shoot your shot, you shoot your shot. Like, that's on you, bro.
Yeah,
live and die on your own sword.
Yeah,
like
you could have been. But then again, there's a lot of factors. You can't
say, and maybe she played him. And then people do get played.
Yeah,
people do get played. That sucks. And do your best. Yeah, if the lawyer sounds like the system got him, if that's the full case, and that is a shitty situation. But at the same time, you just hopefully universe, fucking gratitude. At least I'm making checks. At least I'm able to support this. You know what I mean?
Because it's
and she's gonna. I mean, fuck. You gotta always face what you get, bro.
Yeah,
you get what you.
That was
give.
on him, to be honest. He could have been more sharp, but it happens, bro. I mean,
no, but it could be on her too. Like, it's on her for playing the game if that was her whole initiative.
But she was the one that won. She won that battle.
Yeah.
She was like, I'm gonna do this shit, because you're a young athlete, bro. So you have all the lights. I mean, think about you being right now LaMelo Ball. You've had the spotlight since you were a kid. Mm-hmm. So literally, you go anywhere and you're gonna have all this attention, all the women. I mean, look at Magic. Fucking got AIDS because he fucked so many women. You know what I'm saying?
They play it out too, man. Because she was like, basically, okay, do I want to go back and get a job, or do I want to make $20K and have a baby and raise him?
What's tougher?
A month.
What's tougher for you? And which one would you pick?
What?
If you had to be a superstar athlete or a superstar hip hop artist, which one are you picking? I'm talking top level, whatever sport you want, but you're a top level, like.
Oh, so you're Drake or LeBron?
Yeah. Which one are you picking?
Damn.
Because you're top, bro. You're top on
I
both.
don't know.
You have the
That's
spotlight.
fun. Concerts, games, and sports.
You be
Sports.
LeBron.
Yeah.
Because I even
Or
thought
Brady or
Yeah, yeah.
whatever sport. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? I think that's the sport. I think you're more in shape. You're more, but you could still, Drizzy stays in shape. You know what I'm saying? But like,
But I get.
I feel like the moment of competing, especially in an ultimate sport like that, or one of the ultimate sports, basketball, football.
Yeah, I think
soccer.
I said the same thing. Basketball and soccer, for some reason, I just think like the big Europe. Like
Ronaldo,
or
Neymar,
fucking
Ronaldo.
Messi. Them boys. I watched the documentary of Neymar. That shit is pretty interesting. But it kind of just, I'm looking at it and I'm like, damn, bro, the pressure and the competitive and like you have all the eyes on you. And if you don't perform, and I'd definitely pick it. To be honest, I would just, but it's pressure because you have to perform every night.
Both scenarios are pressure.
Because even when you drop an album, is it better than your previous album? And it's like when you go out every night, like there's 82 games, how high of a level you can perform every night. And it's like, but it's one of those where all the eyeballs on you, all the attention and like, you know what I'm saying? So that's a good one. That's a good one. It's a good choice, you know what I'm saying? But do you ever think these athletes get tired? Hot rappers, they get tired of the same shit as far as bachelor lifestyle. Like for example,
anybody, yeah.
Dan Brazilian, like, do you think
says it?
He's tired of it?
Yeah, well, he's been dating a girl the last like 2 years.
The same girl?
Yeah, because
he got tired.
And I like that. It's not even like tired. It's just like, bro, you go through like, if you can't, I know so many girls even in Bricktown, like they go through their little cycles of like
being a little thotty and shit. Yeah,
figuring it out, sleeping with Joe, sleeping with Tom, fucking Jerry, you know what I'm saying? Trying
Juan
31 flavors,
there.
Little Juanito, get him some.
Daquan over here,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
And like, you know what I'm saying? Everyone goes through their journey and they go through their cycles, so like.
But they get to the point where it's like, all right.
Tired of it.
I'm tired of it.
It's anything else. I think that's what, and you wonder because you don't know until you have, right? You don't know until you have. But like, I wonder, and like and I really think to my conclusion is, anything you have abundance of and you can get easily and access to, you're gonna want. I mean, you're gonna want, but once you get it and you have easy access to it, you're gonna get tired of it, and that's why I truly
it's so
think
easy.
It's so easy. It's right there. Yeah,
you know. So it's
so then you're gonna chase those things, and then you think, okay, well, what are those things? What is that? Well, what are the biggest values and things and happiness in life? Like it's love, it's purpose. It's it's these grand things where if you have an abundance of this or that, at the end of the day, whether or not you don't achieve it, you still sit on your deathbed and you're like, damn, I wish I would have chased true love, or I wish I would have had bigger purpose, or I left something behind.
Even with him, it's like, as a man, you look at him and you're like, fuck, that's goals. But at a certain point where it's like, don't you get tired of that? Because at the end of the day,
for sure,
you want to sit down and you want to have a conversation. You want to talk about your day. You want to, you want to feel some kind of connection. And I feel like to a certain degree, it just gets boring where it's like now.
And you know how many people you come across where you get the fake because they're just so excited because they love you, but they don't know you.
Yeah.
So then you just get fake combos, this, that.
Right.
You can't go anywhere. Like, and at the end of the day, if all humans are just chasing the same things, love, purpose, all these things, but this one happens to have a path of fame or a path in Djibouti or a path in here, like we're all just chasing, I feel like, the same things. And we end up finding out what those things are at the end, like what life really means. And I feel like it's more simple, and this just clouds it all. And I feel like it clouds it all just because like we have to fit in. Like it's almost like that communal, I want to fit in with my peers. Mm-hmm. So what are the coolest of my peers, or who has the most attention? What are they doing? How do I fit in? And like all these like things that come across your head, and this overcomplicates it. And then I think the wiser you get and the less you put up with shit, because old men are grumpy. They don't put up with anything. And they think about all their experiences and they're just like, damn, like what's really, it's really just purpose that made me happy. It was It was Rosa that made me happy. It was love. It was
Yeah.
this. It was that. It was simple. Like it all ended up being. And I feel like everyone. So yeah, it would be fun at first to be Drake, but he might just be annoyed, and I might be like, "Fuck, I kind of like my old life actually," because
I don't think
I
Drake
was just happy. You know what
and
I'm saying?
in Drake's case, he's not showing any signs that he wants to just be cuffed up. This motherfucker, I swear, every time there's something new,
I don't
like,
think you can in that. I think you're dealt a hand. Everyone's dealt a hand, and you got to play that hand accordingly, bro. If you're Drake, why would you? Like, you're dealt a hand that basically says you can sleep with, like, basically, bro. If my, you know, you always got your girl, you got the real ones, but there's basically everyone in America that would sleep with Drake, right?
Yeah.
So he's got that hand. So like, if you have that hand, why would you play a normal life? You have a different hand than most people don't.
because you've been doing it for so long now, but it's like,
But
you know,
no, because
10 plus years in the game.
connections with humans though are real. And though he may have 99 of those being thoughties, there's out of those 99, there's gonna be like 3 or 4 that he has real connections with. And they had a story and they were similar. Stories were connections, this and that. And he's gonna stay connected with those souls. Like, he's gonna have his girl that he knows in Barcelona, and that's his, you know, and he's got his baby mama, and he may have a girl down in Memphis that him and they clicked. And if I was him, you know, this is what he's probably doing is he's continuing those relationships, and he hits them up for whatever support they may be even good at, which some might be more caring and some might be more like, you need to do this. Some may be celebrities we don't know. And he's going to keep those relationships because it benefits his life. And why? He doesn't need a normal life. He's always going to have that. So it's like, I feel like you got to adjust to the hand you're played.
that's an interesting one.
Just chase your happiness, bro.
Yeah.
And as you're chasing it, be real. Because if you're real with those ones and you keep it real and you tell them what you're after and you help accomplish their goals and you guys both meet, it's fucking ends up being beautiful.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, play your hand accordingly.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I say we wrap this up,
Let's do
Brody.
it.
If you are still here, you know what I'm saying, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe. You know, we gotta
Tell them,
you know,
dude.
we gotta tell them,
subscribe.
yes. And we're coming out with some more heat. We're looking to scale this up, as we mentioned, and have fun. So hope you guys enjoy this one. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.
Peace.